Hi, good afternoon. This is Mr. Cassidy, and today we're covering our second lesson in Course 3. We're still working on integer operations. That's really our goal this week, is getting really good at this. I want you all to get 100%. I'm not really comfortable moving on till we're all getting this. And I will work with you till you get it. So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper. You might want to turn it on its side like you can see here. And that way you can write a nice number line with plenty of space. And then what you're always going to do is remember our rule from last class. Put your pencil eraser on the number you start with. Let's say you're starting at -2 here. And then if you're adding to a number, you're going to move to the right that many units. If you're subtracting from it, you move to the left. Use the pencil eraser so that you're careful about it, and you can get 100% correct. All right. So for today's lesson, we're just looking at something. Some problems are going to look a little bit more complicated, and they really aren't, but they're still the same exact rule, moving right or left. In this case, what you're going to see today is problems that have a parentheses. Sometimes we use parentheses to show the sign of a number, in this case 2 plus +2. And we're going to learn a few rules about what to do when we've got those parentheses with a sign. So the rule for adding a positive, so if you see a positive number, let's say positive blank here, you're just going to change it to an addition problem. So in this case, 2 plus +2 equals 2 plus 2. Okay, go ahead and practice rewriting these using that rule that adding a positive is the same as just writing plus. You should have come up with -4 plus 2 for B, and on C you should have come up with -3 plus 6. So what I want you to do is write that in your notes, that anytime and write one of these examples, that if we have -4 plus and then in parentheses a positive, we're just going to change it to -4 plus 2. All right, our second part of the rule is a problem like this. Here we have minus a positive. So when we see minus a positive number, let's say it's just blank there, we can just change it to minus. It's just subtracting that whole number there. So in this case, 3 minus +7 equals 3 minus 7. You're just going to rewrite it. Go ahead and rewrite the next two problems using that rule by changing a minus a positive to just a subtraction problem. Okay, you should have changed E to 5 minus 6, and you should have changed F to -1 minus 2. Okay? All right, so we've now covered what to do if you've got plus positive or minus a positive. We have one final combination that we might have, and that's minus and negative. Now you may remember, if you had Miss Peffer last year, you may remember there's a little rule we use when we're subtracting a negative, and that's the rule of 2 sticks. Subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive. So we're going to change these two addition problems. So I'm going to change this to 2 plus 4, because I'm going to use that rule of 2 sticks. I'm going to change both of these, and it's going to give me 2 plus 4. So go ahead and change these, that each of them are subtracting negatives. What do each problem become? On letter H, you should have come up with -3 plus 7. And on I, you should have come up with -10 plus 3. All right. So to close, I'm going to give you a few problems, and I want you to now have to sort through all three of those rules. When do we do plus? What do we do with 2 plus signs? What do we do with minus a plus? And what do we do with plus a plus? Or sorry, minus a minus. So, sorry, I missed and I left one out. So we also have one more possibility here. We could have adding with a negative number in the parentheses, adding a negative. And that's going to be the same as subtraction. So it works the same way. If we have two different signs, adding a negative or subtracting a positive, we're just going to change it to minus. So let's practice that. Let's call this one J. Here we're going to have 4 plus negative 3. And what does that change to? Well, that means, we could just do this 4 plus negative 3 plus a negative means the same as minus. I'm going to change that to 4 minus 3. Go and practice that with J, K, and L here. I'll write these. All right, so you should have gotten here negative 5 minus 2, and here you should have gotten negative 7 minus 8. Okay, so if you've got that, take a second to make notes of this. I'm going to move the screen, and you may want to remember the main points of how to change them first. You also need a number line. I'm going to give you a few problems to really check your understanding. So we'll call them numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, solve all 4 of these. Now you're going to do that in between step. You're first going to write the change and then solve them. So I'm going to do 3 plus positive 2. First rewrite, then I want you to solve. All right, rewrite and solving all 4. So on the first problem, you should have rewritten it as 3 plus 2, and you would start at 3, move to the right 2 units, and got 5. All right, next one. You should have rewritten it as 8 minus 6, start at the 8, and move left 6 units, and you should have ended at 2. Here you have negative 3. You should rewrite it as using 2 sticks here, plus 2. And that means we're starting at negative 3 and moving to the right 2 units. That ends at negative 1. And last, here we have 1 minus 6 is what you're going to change it to. That would mean starting at 1 and going to the left 6 since it's subtraction. And as long as you count it right off there, you should be set at negative 5. All right, that concludes our lesson. I thank your minds and your hearts, and I hope you have a wonderful math afternoon.